I actually filmed this whole video yesterday. I took the boat out. It was a beautiful sunny day. I was looking forward to editing that video today, but I forgot to turn on my microphone for the whole thing. So here I am. Hey, I'm Ben. I'm a huge fly fisherman. I'm sitting here doing some nymphing, which is like way cool, but I'm gonna use this as a teaching moment because I'm doing something that allows me to extend my drift to cover more water with my flies. I'm feeding line into the drift. This is something that you do if you're fishing downstream, like your flies are downstream from where you are. I'm gonna explain why you might do this, then how to do it. There are a few reasons you might do this. One is exactly what's happening here. I'm nymphing. Again, it's super cool and not a lame way to fish at all. So I cast my flies upstream, I'm mending to get a drag-free drift, and I'm retrieving the line as it comes back to me to get rid of excessive slack. When the flies get back to where I am, I can let them drift past me, the line pulls tight, and I can cast again. Or I can feed line and extend my drift, which should increase my chances of catching a fish, right? Another situation you might feed line is fishing dry flies downstream. Again, downstream presentation is the theme here. One of the best ways to fish dry flies is with a downstream presentation. That's because the fish is seeing your fly first before it sees your leader or fly line. A downstream presentation is especially good with spooky fish in flat water. You're upstream from the fish and probably a little off to the side. You cast your fly so it lands upstream of the fish, and you feed line as your fly is drifting toward your target. So bobber nymphing and downstream dry flies are two situations where you might want to do this. There are other times where you might want to feed line, but let's move on and talk about how to do it. It's gonna take a little coordination and some rhythm on your part, so if you're white, just do the best you can. So this is how you do it. You're feeding line from your line hand to your rod hand and then shaking it out the tip. I do a vertical shake. Other people I know do side to side. You can do that too if you want to be a weirdo. So let's see that again. I'm feeding line through my hands and shaking it out the rod tip at the same speed as the current. And I'm always controlling the line with both hands. All right, now that you know when and how to feed line, let's talk about some things that you need to be aware of, the drawbacks. Mainly, being upstream of a fish when you want to make a hook set is not a good position to be in. Let's start with nymphing, and I should insert some super high-tech graphics here to help explain this. This is how a bobber nymph rig should drift through the water, right? Flies upstream, bobber downstream, fish eats the fly, bobber goes down. Well, if you're feeding line and nymphing down below you, this is what your rig looks like when it's drifting. Whole lot of slack in there. That's gonna make it tough to set the hook. You have to move a lot of line. In reality, what happens a lot is your rig ends up drifting like this. It's gonna be tough to see a bite like that. And fishing nymphs downstream like this is far from ideal. If possible, you want to be fishing up or across from you. This is just something you can do when there's no other option to get your fly where you want it to be. But anyway, the real problem with setting the hook when the fish is downstream from you is that you're pulling the fly out of the fish's mouth. Think about it. He's facing you and you're pulling the fly back toward yourself. It's still doable though. With nymphs, just try to be quick and build dance it and move a lot of line. If you're fishing a dry fly downstream, you actually want to wait a little bit on the hook set. Give the fish time to close its mouth and maybe turn away from you before you hit them. But in my experience, delaying your hook set is one of the most difficult things in fly fishing. I mean, the fish just ate my fly and you want me to not set the hook? Yes, but just wait a little bit. So that's gonna do it for this video about feeding line and fishing downstream from you. Thank you as always for watching another one of my huge fly fisherman videos. I will be back as soon as I can with another video about fly fishing for you. Until then, take a kid fishing and stay huge. Woo! Solid.